Hello and welcome to News Now. I'm your host, Taylor Inman. We're going over the biggest headlines this week for Northwest Montana. Despite an ongoing legislative stalemate, Governor Greg Gianforte stuck firmly to his vision for fiscal relief at a press conference in Kalispell on Wednesday. While visiting the rancher's daughter, an Idaho Street farm-to-table retailer, Gianforte unveiled a poster outlining key agenda items from his 2025 State of the State address. Gianforte said, quote, "We can't check off property taxes or income taxes yet, or the budget or judicial reform," end quote. The solitary success on the board was higher teacher starting pay. Gianforte checked off the box before a crowd of about a dozen people, saying he plans to sign the STARS Act, which contributes $100 million toward raising teacher starting pay after the Senate passed it on Tuesday. As far as his fiscal objectives for the state, Gianforte maintained that there's still time for bills to reach his desk before the legislature's May 5th deadline. Gianforte declined to comment on the bills currently awaiting his review, including an income tax bill introduced by Speaker of the House Brandon Lurr, a Republican from Savage. Instead, he focused on the property tax legislation currently under debate in the House and the Senate. Gianforte said they had clear priorities to give property tax relief that would be permanent and meaningful, targeted toward Montana homeowners, renters, and small businesses. The governor's proposal, which raises taxes on second homes and short-term rentals while reducing them on primary residences and long-term rental properties, is among the bills still in contention. As to the financial burdens Montanans may face because of the tariffs levied during the ongoing trade war initiated by the Trump administration, Gianforte acknowledged there would likely be a little disruption. A report from the Budget Lab at Yale estimates that tariffs put in place on April 2nd alone will cost U.S. households an average of $2,100 per year. But he argued that the tariffs, which are a tax on imported goods, would benefit businesses and consumers in the long run. Kalispell City Council on Monday voted to expand and streamline two city ordinances addressing junk vehicles and community decay on private property. Ordinance 1935 offered a more defined definition of a junk vehicle. Current code defines a junk vehicle as a discarded, ruined, wrecked, or dismantled motor vehicle, including component parts, that is inoperative or incapable of being driven. The updated ordinance offers 8 other characteristics to define a junk vehicle. Those include missing a structural part, broken or missing parts needed for operation, growth of weeds around the vehicle, containing junk or garbage, posing a source of danger, posing a source of contamination, illegal to operate on public streets, constituting a nuisance or threat to the public's health or safety. Once notified, a property owner would have 10 days to address the issue. The ordinance passed 5-3 after a minor wording adjustment. Councilors Ryan Hunter, Sid Dowd, and Jessica Dahlman voted against the motion, criticizing what they saw as vagaries and the potential for government overreach. The second ordinance council amended addresses the aesthetics of private property within city limits. The measure altered the community decay ordinance to apply year-round. Under city code, any unchecked overgrown vegetation that is unsightly, troublesome, or offensive, including all weeds and grasses over 8 inches in height, are in violation of the ordinance. The ordinance passed 5-3 with Hunter, Dowd, and Dahlman in opposition. Once notified about the violation, a property owner must respond within 10 days. Previously, a landowner had 30 days to address the issue. Council spent over an hour discussing the ordinance changes, citing the importance of clean and collected places within city limits. Dowd thanked the public for their patience at the end of the meeting. He said while some of the items they discussed seemed like no-brainers, Council still puts, quote, thought and debate into each one. Councilor Jed Fisher mentioned that while he doesn't like the government or overreaching laws, despite working for various government positions for years, he supported the amended ordinances. Mayor Mark Johnson agreed, stating that ordinances are required to prevent subjective rulings. Council also approved Johnson's various appointments to a range of committees during Monday's meeting, as well as establishing an official Arbor Day designation for April 25th. A youth program, the only one of its kind in Montana that gives Flathead Valley students facing school-based offensive an alternative to the judicial justice system, is getting national recognition this week. The Flathead County School Justice Partnership was bestowed with the Georgetown University 2024 Capstone of the Year Award and will be honored at the Janet Reno Forum in Washington, D.C. on April 24th. The program is designed to keep students who commit first-time misdemeanors out of youth court by putting them through an accountability-focused program that includes facilitating a conversation between the victim and the offender. Around 300 youths have gone through the program since its inception in 2017. A collective of Kalispell Public Schools, restorative justice, law enforcement, and juvenile probation representatives identified the need for an alternative to youth court and created the program after completing training with the Georgetown University Center for Juvenile Justice Reform. When it was first piloted in Flathead High School, only students with alcohol or marijuana-related offenses were eligible. The program has since been adopted by schools across the Flathead Valley, including all 3 Kalispell high schools, and expanded to include all first-time misdemeanors and status offenses. Students in special education or low socioeconomic status were disproportionately being kicked out of school more often and for longer periods of time. That's according to Cassie Carr, a deputy juvenile probation officer with the state of Montana and a member of the collective. Winding through the juvenile court system can take up to 140 days, and she said the ordeal can be impersonal and isolating. Students who commit first-time petty offenses like getting in fights, stealing, or disorderly conduct are instead able to complete the restorative justice program within 30 days of the offense with nothing on their record. During those 30 days, the central idea is that this one incident does not define you, said Catherine Gunderson, executive director of the local nonprofit Center for Youth Restorative Justice. Students participate in workshops on peer pressure, conflict resolution, life skills, and facilitated interaction between the offender and the victim. There is no one-size-fits-all approach either. Gunderson said the program is tailored to specific issues the student may be facing, such as substance abuse. When Carr began working in the juvenile court 15 years ago, she recalled tending to 45 cases simultaneously. Now she and others in her office deal with 10 on average, freeing up time to focus on more serious cases. In 2023, referrals to the restorative program made up 43% of all youth court referrals, as compared to just 5% of all youth court referrals in 2017, according to the Flathead County School Justice Partnership. The program has not only helped keep more kids out of court, but also reduced their likelihood of reoffending. Gunderson recalled that Flathead County at one point had one of the highest recidivism rates in the state. Now it has one of the lowest. Youth involved with the restorative program have a recidivism rate of 10%. Lower than the 23% recidivism rate for all Flathead County youth. Being recognized at a national level is an honor for the crew, too, and Gunderson hopes that other school systems will be able to replicate the program. While Flathead County schools are the first in Montana served by this type of program, there are plans to see the program implemented in Missoula. Thanks for joining us. News Now is a podcast from the Daily Interlake. We're proud to be the largest independent newsroom in Montana and the longest continuously published newspaper in the region. Today's stories were written by Daily Interlake reporters Haley Smalley, Kate Heston, and Jack Underhill. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of The Pod. Everybody stay safe and have a great week. Thanks to our sponsor, Lawrence Auto Repair at 1309 U.S. Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit lawrenceauto.com.